On your show, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah.
We reach into the shadows to discover the unsung heroes among us and bring them into the local spotlight.
Hi, this is Zeno, and I'm with John King, who's got his own show on 103.1 FM Valpo. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me here, and I've been looking forward to doing this with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool, too, because I've always, I don't know, I have a secret dream to want to be on radio.
Well, anytime you want to come on with me, just let me know. And I'm usually the one doing the interviewing here, so this is a little bit different for me, too.
You usually interview musicians?
I do. I've been doing it for 12 years now. I've had over 1,200 local musicians on the show. So it's a great thing.
How do you find 1,200 local?
Well, it's pretty easy actually in this area.
Yeah, tell me about it. What's the music scene like in Northwest Indiana?
The music scene in Northwest Indiana is probably as good as anywhere in the world. I always say on my show, I would put up the musicians against anybody in the world from this area.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you take good musicians per capita, like how many musicians and how many good ones, because there's a lot of them. Yeah,
the whole region area here, from the state line probably over to South Bend is the area that I cover and have musicians in from all those areas.
So you said you work at the mill.
I work at Cleveland Cliffs, yes.
And you've been there how long?
Going into my 35th year.
Okay, 35th year. And this is what I love about your story is it's such a testament to, and you've got your own radio show.
Yes.
And you've had that for 12 years. Like, there's really no excuse. No matter what you're doing, if you want to go do what you love, you found a way to do what you love. I want to hear how you got into radio. How do you go from I have zero experience to I have my own radio show for 12 years? Let's hear it.
Okay, so the whole story is my wife and I put on a music festival as a fundraiser for Porter County Special Olympics.
Okay.
And we started that about 12 years ago. And I was looking for ways to promote it, contacting radio stations, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of love from the stations in this area here.
Okay.
So the first year was a little trying. I mean, it was successful. We did real well. But I wanted to take it to another level. So I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to start my own show. And she just kind of looked at me and said, yeah, okay.
Okay, honey.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
And I went and did it. So I contacted WVLP, and I didn't get a real warm welcoming at first. But then
then they realized you're like 6'5" and weigh 250, and you could take them out in a second. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll give you a show. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. No, it actually went where I knew the station manager.
Okay.
But we hadn't talked to each other since we were kids. And through that, he started asking me questions and said, you got to do a demo tape. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And he's like, well, when would you like to start? And I said, September. This was in July.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, I'll give you a call back. And I wasn't expecting anything. About an hour later, he called and said, you start Tuesday night.
Right.
And I'm like, really? Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
So I had a couple of days to put a show together, and I did a lot of classic rock stuff, and a lot of the musicians that had played that first festival had original music out, so I mixed that in with it.
Uh-huh.
Everything was going. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
But he was in there with me, first 3 shows, and then when I went solo, I forgot to turn the mic on for the first hour.
The whole show? Just you have they can hear the music, but they can't hear you talking.
So I'm getting texts saying, we can hear the music, but we can't hear you. And I'm like, oh my God. Did you know what it was instantly, or? Yeah, once I saw the text I got from a friend, I forgot to turn the mic on.
Did you look down and like, oh, there's supposed to be a light right there?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yes. Well, so I engineer my show by myself.
Okay.
So we used to do CDs and albums, and then you'd have to do the board.
Mm-hmm.
So you're flipping in and out with CDs, and I just forgot to turn the mic on because, by myself for the first time, kind of freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've come a long way.
What was the name of that show, the first show?
I was Livin' It Up Radio, and that name came from the festival that we did.
Right.
For Special Olympics.
Right. But now you turn your mic on.
Now I turn my mic
So,
on.
I mean-
Every once in a while, I
Yeah.
have a little misstep.
So you do mostly original music, you said, yeah?
Yes.
You like highlighting original. So if you're an original musician,
Yes.
right?
Yes. If you're an original musician,
how would they submit their music to you?
The best way is on Facebook. Just find me, look for John King, or Livin' It Up Radio on 103.1 WVLP.
Okay.
And you can submit music to me. Word of mouth is the best way that it's really taken off over the years.
So what kind of musicians are you looking to interview on your show?
Well, I build a show, rock to country, and everything in between, which covers all the musicians in this area. I lean towards rock,
Yeah.
but I don't have a playlist. So
What that means is you're not limited by this set of songs, right?
I can do whatever I want to do, really.
Yeah.
Within reason.
I mean, even all the national,
Yeah, we have.
they just buy one license, right?
Yeah, we have one license, so I can play all national stuff, and I do.
Yeah.
I mix things up, but mostly local. We used to play live in the studio.
Uh-huh.
Some of the, I guess, some more of the fun bands. Stone Wave is a great rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Jealous Bone. You kind of put me on a spot here. And
That's fine.
I mean, these are things.
That's what it is. You're on a show.
Right, I'm on a show. A guy named Jeff Sarver from the area here. Probably the most unique performer I've ever had on.
What's his name?
Jeff Sarver.
Okay. Why?
He's just on a different plane than the rest of us.
He lives in his own thing, his own sphere?
He's a great musician, and he's a great lyricist.
Yeah.
And a great performer, and he just takes things to a different level. He's an interesting guy to interview.
So can we listen to old episodes? Is there a way to do that? Or is it's live or nothing?
Not right now. No, it's live, but I have the old episodes.
Right.
But I haven't done a podcast. I want to do a podcast with all those old episodes on there, but I just haven't got around to doing that yet.
You mean just to publish them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
not
I
a
had
bad
a lot
idea.
of great performers on there, a lot of great performances in the studio.
Yeah.
Highway Band, another one that was great in the studio.
How many bands, like if you look over the years, how many bands do you see that are still around? Like, let's say from 5 years ago and beyond, they're still out there, that they haven't died off. I mean, what are there most of them, or do you see them come and go?
Most of them are still around. They might not perform as much. I have to say it started with Chris and Lou. I don't know if you know them. They've played every one of my festivals in some form or another with a band. Mega Beatles, their own music. Rito, another band. So from there, it kind of, word of mouth, they told other people, hey, get them some music. And then I would invite them on, all these bands.
Yeah.
And they would come on, play live. Sometimes we would just do the music on, album or CD. And it grew over the years. So then I started writing for the Entertainer magazine.
Okay.
So I did all the music for that.
All right.
So I would also do local spotlights
Yeah.
in that magazine on the bands for the area. So I hit it from two different angles.
Yeah. The Entertainer's still around, isn't it?
The Entertainer is still around.
Yeah.
I'm not writing for them right now,
Yeah.
but I still
Well, they had to change in ownership, I think.
a couple times.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite questions to ask musicians? I mean, other than how'd you get started, what do you love, but what do you have any unique questions that you'd like to ask?
The marketing is a big one. I always ask the marketing, how are you going to get your music out there? And I like to ask them about the backgrounds of the songs. I'm fascinated with songwriters. How somebody can just come up with an idea. I ask, does it just come to you naturally, or do you have to put it off to the side for a while? Does it take a year to write a song? What gives you the inspiration?
Right.
And that's the big thing.
Do you get a wide range of answers?
All kinds.
Like, what kind of answers do you come up with? Have you heard?
I was driving down the street and I saw somebody doing something, and I wrote a song out of it. Had dreams, and then they would interpret it into a song. Watching television,
Right.
relationships, just all different.
Probably a lot of those. Probably a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
She broke my heart. So, what do you think's a good idea about this show, The Local Spotlight? What do you like about it?
Well, I think it's a great idea to put the local people out there.
Yeah.
People that don't normally get to see things like this,
Yeah.
or hear about it.
I mean,
We can get this out to the community.
do you know how many people? I mean, how many people know that you can start a radio show, and that there are local radio stations that are here that you could get on the radio if you wanted to, or that going on your show
Right.
is a venue to promote your music? I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't know that that's even a thing.
Probably not.
Right.
Now, I've built up, a reputation over the years where people do know, so I do get a lot of music sent to me. What's really fascinating is it's a small local station, but we stream worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
I get music sent to me from Europe, Spain, England, France.
How do
Now, I personally like the original music,
they? Yeah.
and that's my big thing. So I try to promote that as much as I can. And I hope that I've helped bands over the years
Yeah.
getting that music out there.
So tell me about this show that you do. It's to raise money for Special Olympics.
It's called the Livin' It Up Music Festival. It's for Porter County Special Olympics. I don't take any money for it. I'm on the board of Porter County Special Olympics.
Okay.
They're an all-volunteer organization.
Where is it at?
Zao Island.
Okay.
In Valparaiso.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Have you
So
been doing it every year?
We did it for 9 years, and then COVID hit, and we had to
Yeah.
go back. Now we're back.
Nice. And how do you get tickets?
Eventbrite, through a lot of people.
Yeah. Maybe you go to your Facebook page?
Yeah, you can go to my Facebook page, message me. That's usually the best way. We do the tickets. We'll have raffles on it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a great day. Now we have raised over $100,000 through this festival,
Wow.
which I'm pretty proud of.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Do you have bands donate their time and music
Yeah,
to it?
some
or-
do. I can't. At first, it was all volunteer,
Yeah.
but then over the years, I kind of figured out, these musicians need some help too.
Uh-huh.
So I pay them. I mean, I don't pay them a whole lot,
Yeah. Whatever you can.
but enough to make it worth their while.
Yeah. So I'm curious, if you're working in the mill and you're kind of a radio personality, do they know about this at the mill?
Yeah, they actually do.
Yeah. So what are you? Like, are you in a little different category? Like, oh yeah, this John, he's the radio guy. Do you got a reputation there?
I have a reputation for doing the radio. People are always asking me, "You still doing the radio?" I listen to your radio show. I
Yeah.
love it. People are fascinated that I do radio.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen for your radio station in the future?
I'd like to
for
see
the
it
show.
just keep going. Actually, the way it's going, I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's hard. I would love to do it full time if I could, but
Yeah.
at this point, I can't.
And it's a local show.
It's a local show. It's on
Right.
Thursday nights at 7
Okay.
and rebroadcast on Mondays at 9 p.m.
And you can listen online probably,
You can
obviously.
listen online.
if-
That's the best way. Get on the TuneIn app, or you can go to WVLP.org and listen through there.
Right.
Or 103.1 FM if you're within a certain range. But the best way,
How far does it go?
it probably goes down to about Couts, and then it goes out past Wanata to Maryville, and then the Chicago stations start cutting in up here. So you probably get north of Valparaiso
Right.
a little bit.
So how's it feel to be interviewed instead of interviewing?
It's different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a little less stress though? Because you don't have to come up with what's coming next.
Right. It is a little.
You can just respond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you interview me now.
So you're a musician.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really realize.
You
that.
are more comfortable. Look at how much more
Yeah.
comfortable you are. You kind of like being in the driver's seat. All right.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I'm ready.
So you're a musician, and your music's great.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to playing it on the air, and I'm looking forward to you coming on the show.
Yeah, me and my drummer's way more fun than I am. I mean, I'm not boring, but he's wild. He's a good time.
So, you are a songwriter.
Yeah. I've been a songwriter, pretty much my whole life. But really, I started really writing songs when I started to learn how to play guitar when I was about 19. And it was always easier for me to write a song than learn one, so I just wrote.
So what inspired you to record your music?
I like this music. We should record this.
Your music's great, and why I never heard it before, I don't know.
Probably because we've never played out anywhere.
So do you want to play out in this area?
I think so, but I've always felt, and I don't know, maybe this is an error, but I always felt like there's not a lot of space for Northwest Indiana. Like, there's not a lot of people going, I want original music. And I know that we could have, but I always kind of felt like our music, too, was very, maybe more for the city. You know, like if we were going to play out, maybe we'd do Chicago. But the reality is we spend more time writing, recording, creating, and then really kind of building. This is the fourth iteration of a studio that we've had.
Really?
Yeah, so we put a lot of time and effort into building the first studio, and then we upgraded it until we built LiveX Studios, which at first was just going to be our playground. We were going to live stream our band practices and use it for recording our own stuff. And then we're like, hey man, we got all like the best thing around and no one else is doing what we're doing. So maybe we should turn this into a business.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that happened.
Idea.
Yeah.
So the name of your band is Xenosis.
Yeah. The State of Xeno.
Where can people listen to your music?
On Spotify.
Spotify.
I mean, on all the channels. But if you went to xenosismusic.com, you can get a direct link to all the...
Is it available on iTunes and all that?
Everywhere. Really? What kind of tips could you give other local musicians? Like, what have you seen work? What marketing ideas have you seen that you've been told that do work?
The best thing that I've seen is to go in person and talk to the manager or the owner of the venue and have some type of demo in hand. And you got to market yourself too. You know, what can you bring in? You got to have some confidence and a little bit of luck too.
And a lot of it is how many people can you bring to the venue?
Well, yeah.
Period.
I mean, they have to make money too.
Right.
Now, Duffy's in Valpo is a good one. He brings in a lot of original music.
Yeah.
And he brings in...
Where are other good places for original musicians to play? That's a really good question.
Leroy's.
Yeah.
Here in Porter.
For sure. He does a lot.
He does mostly blues.
Yeah.
But on some of the other nights, he'll bring in other bands.
Yeah.
And I've thrown a few names his way, Duffy's way.
Yeah.
Now, over in Lake County, there's Finnegan's. Northwoods Falls is a big one now, too.
Okay.
Bringing in a lot of musicians.
Zorn's Brewery, I think, does a bunch.
Okay.
They do. I've seen a lot of original musicians there. They got an awesome spot. They've really expanded. The place is great. But it's people to people.
It is. You've got to be personable, and you have to go in and talk to people.
Do you only interview musicians?
No. I've done other things, local community stuff. I'll have people come in that do have fundraisers.
So I'm a stage hypnotist.
Yeah, and that's fascinating.
So maybe it's a separate episode, but I think it might be fun to go on your show and hypnotize some people right on your show.
Yeah, that would be.
You know, I could get them saying some funny things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're promoting, local stuff. And
that's true.
You know.
That's true. And I'm going to be out, and yes, I'm trying to promote getting more local stage shows.
Yeah.
So I do a comedy hypnosis show.
Really?
Yeah, the whole idea is that it's fun. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and people do some funny things, but it's really out there to promote the power of even self-hypnosis and what you can do if you put yourself into the right state. You can feel better, you can sleep better, you can lose anxiety, you can quit smoking, you can, have better peak performance, you can change your state and how you feel whenever you want. I mean, there really is some powerful stuff out there. But the stage shows are really just kind of show the power of it, and then hey, you can actually use this to improve your life. And that's really the mission of it, is to show
Really?
people how much you can improve your life. Yeah, and if you're a local musician and you want to be on Local Spotlight, sign up an application there.
Promote local. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I will put Northwest Indiana musicians up against anybody in the world.
Local Spotlight has been brought to you by LiveXstudios.com.
If only there was one site that listed all the concerts, festivals, and every other fun event happening in Northwest Indiana. There is. Visit panoramanow.com. Plan on making memories that last.